One at a time, and we'll get the job done. Y'all know what to say. On three. 1, 2, 3.
And the home of the Jets.
Good evening, everybody. Let's talk Jets. March 11th, the day after a huge trade. And things are really interesting with the New York Jets right now. We got guards, we got kickers, we got quarterbacks, we got all kinds of things. Mr. Bubs, how you doing, man?
Listen, how's it going, everybody in the chat? Hope everybody's doing well. How is everybody doing? It's been a crazy last 24 hours or so to say in Jetland, especially amongst the Jet fan base. So looking forward to this show today. Looking forward to diving into the big trade yesterday with Geno Smith. Looking forward to diving into some of these other signings as well. All the latest around the Jets here. We've hit near the end of the day of day 3 in free agency, and a lot has already taken place. So should be a good show. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of ways we can go with this, but let's start with the easy aspect of this. And I welcome all callers in tonight because this is what we do. We let everybody express themselves. We will share the link. Let me say this: the New York Jets made a trade yesterday for Geno Smith, as everybody knows by now. The reactions to this have been absolutely ridiculous. The minute the trade went down, I got messages. I'm never watching the Jets again. The Jets are a disgrace. Oh, listen, first of all, everybody that always says that, you're watching come September. So Stop with them. Never going to watch them again. This is the worst move ever. It's all ridiculous. What exactly did people expect with the state of the Jets? The state of the Jets they're a team last year that was one of the worst in football. They fired all their coordinators, all their staff. They bring back Aaron Glenn. So now he rehired his staff, but it's not a desirable destination for anybody. No top quarterback's going to want to come here. So your options are very, very limited. That's just a fact, right? Of the options that are there, Geno Smith is the best of the worst. And that's just a fact as well. It is what it is. It just seems like people 13 years ago, Geno did this. And I don't care about the past. I don't care about his attitude. I don't care about all these things. If you compare it to what's available and to what they got, it's a solid move for the New York Jets that will allow them to compete for Bubs. $3.3 million. Doesn't break the cap. It's not a 10-year deal. It's not a friggin', not $30 million for 5 years. It's $3.3 million for a starting quarterback that will allow your offense compete. It'll get the ball downfield. Everybody was like, for the entire offseason, I wish I can get Jameis Winston. Why? He throws the ball downfield to be fun to watch. Guess what Geno Smith can do? He's going to let it rip too. He's going to probably be a little more accurate, and he's going to be a good commander of the offense behind a solid offensive line. For people dumping on this, what exactly do you expect for a rebuilding team? What did they actually expect?
Yeah, rebuilding team that's coming off a 3-win season, 2 coordinator changes, and you're in need of a quarterback. And you're spot on with that first point, too, of I'm done with this team. I'm never watching again. Look, we've all been there as fans. We're sitting there on a Sunday watching this, disaster, whatever, the amount of bad losses we've all sat through. And we've all sat there and said, oh, I'm done. This is terrible. And guess what? We're all back there the next week watching the same garbage. So to all the Jet fans out there, because I have seen a lot of that too, it's like, oh, I'm done. I'm selling all my apparel. Yeah, I can't wait to see you in September talking about this team too, on Twitter and all that stuff, because that's what it is. We're all sucked into this and we're never getting out of this. We're in this forever. So definitely agree with that. But yeah, you're spot on. The outrage to me is just ridiculous. Nobody is sitting here and saying that Geno Smith's going to win 12 games. Geno Smith's going to win 13 games. They're going to make the Super Bowl. They're going to end the playoff drought. He's going to win the MVP. That's not what anybody's saying. That's not what you're bringing Geno Smith here to do. You put it best. He was the best of the worst. Out of the realistic options, as the days have gone on, as we started to gather more information on guys like Cousins, guys like Carr, where there wasn't much interest from their parties, into the Jets' perspective. Cousins didn't want to come here. I think a lot of us knew that. Carr felt like that wasn't going to happen as a starter as time went on as well. You mentioned, Brissett from a Cardinals perspective, that wasn't going to happen after you hear that the Cardinals plan on starting him. So you take all that information, you look at the available names, you look at the guys that started to sign elsewhere, went off the board, and Geno, of the realistic options, was the best of them. And he gives you an opportunity to compete. He gives you an opportunity to just be competitive, just be competent. I think so many people right now with Geno Smith, and I don't want this to come across way too positive or like, oh, I got the green goggles on. But I think a lot of people with the Jets, and believe me, the expectations for the season are still very low. You've said it best a lot of times these last couple of shows. The Jets are awful right now. If they could just be bad, that's an upgrade. As sad as it sounds, it's an upgrade if they could just be a normal bad football team. It really is. That's where we're at after what took place last season. I think a lot of people, though, with Geno Smith are prisoners of the moment, and they just look at last season, and that's all they judge him on. Let's not ignore what this guy did in 2022 through 2024, the 3 years he was in Seattle. Let's not ignore the 2 4,000-plus yard seasons he had there, the 30-touchdown season he had in 2022. You know, he added on another 21 in 2024, made a wild card, won 10 games. Like, he had some success. And to think that people are sitting here and just bashing it and crushing it, and like he's not a guy that's had some competent NFL success over the last couple of years, you just frankly don't know what you're talking about.
No, they just hate on him, dude. They just hate on him. They want him because it didn't end well here. They didn't play well here. But what they don't want to acknowledge is he actually resurrected his career at the Seahawks and played very good football. The thing is, you came into this offseason saying, we have to upgrade the quarterback position. The Jets did exactly that for a very cheap cost. If other teams, I have a funny feeling, if other teams made the trade for Geno Smith, oh my God, what are the Jets doing? They're sleeping at the wheel.
It's little Jets.
So now it's like, okay, so whoever wants to call him tonight is like, the Jets did a horrible job. Tell me who the realistic option is that's better than Geno Smith. Don't tell me Kirk Cousins. Don't tell me Derek Carr. Don't tell me Jacoby Brissett. Let's not talk fantasy land. And don't talk about Kyler Murray. He ain't it either.
Yeah.
The bottom line is, Geno, but the thing is, you can get Geno Smith if you want. It looks like Carson Wentz out of the picture. If you bring it in, like, if Geno Smith comes in and plays like shit week 7, guess what you can do? You can bench him. You don't have any long-term investment, and your second veteran quarterback can come in. What you need here is 2 veteran quarterbacks to allow Frank Reich to install the offense at a high level, maximize the potential of Garrett Wilson, Mason Taylor, Breece Hall, and everybody else, while having a young quarterback sit there, watch these guys, and learn. And now, Geno Smith's not a good mentor. People are just making shit up now at this point. Let's just make up any little story we want. Oh, I heard that. No, you didn't hear shit, dude. You just find a reason to dump on this guy. Meanwhile, take time to watch Josina Anderson's interview with him, where the guy, he came off humble. He's like, you know what? I wanted to go to the Jets. I want to go back home. They took a chance.
And he learned.
Yeah, he said, and he's like, the thing is, like, Aaron Glenn's got a chip on his shoulder because he knows how bad everybody hates him and his team right now. And Geno Smith does too. The pride of Geno saying, listen, I want to go back and prove all these guys wrong. Now I love that spirit because it's literally the Jets against the world because everybody dumps on them. They're the laughing stock in the NFL until you start winning games and playing competent football. He's embracing it. He knows the Northeast. He knows the fan base. He knows the media. He knows exactly what he's getting himself into, and he welcomed it. That takes some balls to do that too, dude. Like, you know what? Let me go to Vikings, go wherever else. Let me take on that challenge. Challenge Kirk Cousins didn't want to take. A challenge Derek Carr didn't want to take. Geno Smith took the challenge. I give him credit for it, dude. And the thing is, too, it's like, let's see what happens. God forbid he plays well. Are going to be mad? God forbid they win 6-7 games this year because guess what? They're not tanking. This team isn't tanking. So everybody, they have to do all. No, they're trying to win games as they should because this young nucleus needs to learn how to win. That's how you change your culture.
Yeah, I always find it funny that everybody's like, oh, they're tanking. Glenn's that won 3 games last year. His job's on the line. He's not going to tank. He's not just going to throw away his job purposely to get a number 1 overall pick that he won't even be here to select.
This comment right here is typical of the stupidity out there on social media. This is a flawed argument. Just because Geno is the best of all this shit, he's still shit. Then, in my opinion, it doesn't make a great move. He's a good quarterback that you got for $3.3 million. He's not Joe Burrow. He's not Lamar Jackson. He's not anybody else because guess what? Those guys aren't available.
And that's the thing. Every quarterback that was available has their flaws, has their issues. Otherwise, public service announcement, they wouldn't be available, right? It's like you're shopping at the used car lot, junkyard, whatever you want to use. We've used many of the different terms on this show over the last couple of weeks. That's just the reality of the situation. What I find very funny is, and I know a little bit of a different circumstance because you had the hope with Fields that he was still young and he could turn into your long-term option. But last season, like Fields, let's call like it is. And I don't want to go down the revisionist history. I just want to compare the two situations here for a second. everybody. The Fields was signed. His numbers in his career were awful. He was not any good before coming to the Jets. Let's just tell like it is. Geno Smith, and this is what I find so weird. He's had some good seasons. Like the guy won 10 games 2 years ago. He's thrown for over 4,000 yards. Fields was terrible. Fields came in here and people were finding every reason to build him up. It doesn't make sense with Geno that everyone's finding every reason to bring him down when there's more evidence with Geno that he can be a competent cornerback than there was with Fields. There's more with Geno than there would be with a Tanner McKee or a Malik Willis giving him $30 million guaranteed, any of those guys that have barely played. You know, it's just – and for every, Geno has turnover problems. Well, I can give you Kirk Cousins has played in a dome for his entire career. How is his arm going to be in this weather at this age? For every, Geno Smith sucked here. Well, Derek Carr's coming off a shoulder surgery. He was retired for a year. So for every Geno complaint, you could go out there and there's flaws with Carr. There's flaws with Cousins. There's flaws with all these guys. That's why they're available. But when you break it down and you look at the options, he's a competent quarterback that's going to get the ball to Garrett Wilson. He's going to take chances. He's going to throw the ball downfield. Nobody is saying they're going to win the Super Bowl. Nobody's saying they're going to make the playoffs. No, that's not what anybody's saying. But of the options, for the price at just $3.3 million taken on the contract, I don't mind them trading for him. I've seen some of that outrage too. Oh, this is such the Jets not waiting for him to hit free agency. So what? They felt like he was their guy. They didn't want him to hit free agency and have options elsewhere. So they secured him. They got it done. I have no issue with it. It's just a lot of it's just.
The comment now is, I like the Geno move. Just hear Tyson get pissed at him during the season. Bro, you wanted him. I never openly campaigned for Geno, so let's make that clear too. I wanted Jacoby Brissett, but I understand this move. I can embrace it, and I think the Jets can compete with him. Let's just get the facts straight here. What are we looking to do here? We're looking to be competitive, to not be the worst team in football, to have a, top 25 offense, top 23 offense. Like I said before, dude, we're going from terrible to bad. And that for the Jets over the last couple of years is a significant upgrade. That's what we're trying to do here. Furthermore, this is a quarterback that if they traded for him, Frank Reich wants. There's something then, because this is a guy who says, listen, this guy will fit my offense. Got a big arm, pocket pass, can do these things. Another thing, the whole goal for here is to find ways to win games, to move this franchise forward. Nobody cares about tanking and losing. You've got to change your direction, and that's what we're here to do. And that's what they're trying to do throughout this whole free agency period. And they're making smart moves throughout. No cap breakers, no, crazy draft allocation going anywhere else. So it's just, these responses are wild. So listen, if you hate Geno so much, fine. Don't root for the Jets. Don't root for the Jets. I genuinely don't care. But tell me what your answer was, because you don't have anybody better. You want to live in Fantasyland? Go for it. Yeah. There's nobody better than him, dude. There's literally not.
That's the funny part is everybody that craps on Geno Smith and says Geno Smith is terrible, if you come back at them and ask them who they want, they go silent because there's nobody else out there. There weren't many other options. It's like you said. I think a lot of people are. I think a lot of it too is just crapping on the Jets, just to crap on the Jets and all that stuff.
He's not a likable guy, dude. There's times he's been a jerk. He's been arrogant. He's done strange things. But you know what? Justin Fields was an angel, a great character guy. How'd that work out? I don't care about that anymore. Geno's respected by his teammates, respected by guys in the NFL, and he's going to bring a different level of talent to the room that we didn't have last year. Just a fact. When we want to make Tyrod Taylor's backup, fine. The thing is, when you bring him in, you can bench him. You can do whatever you want him. It's $3.3 million. Who cares? But it's worth a shot. It's worth taking a chance here because, and the funny thing is, if they would have brought in Derek Carr, Derek Carr throws terrible passes. He got interceptions. He got friggin' Olave almost out of the NFL at this point.
Yeah. He throws hospital passes. He's coming off of a torn rotator cuff. He's coming off of severe labral damage, coming off a year where he didn't even play in the NFL. He was out of the league for retirement. Now you're going to want him to come play in the Northeast inside MetLife Stadium and expect him to have success. Like, there's flaws there too. And don't even get me started, these people too, because I've seen it. He's Sal Licata, just a clown response on Twitter. Sal Licata, if you want to call him that, goes out there and says, oh, Justin Fields is better than Geno Smith. That is, tell me you have not watched a football game without telling me you haven't watched a football game. That's just a clown answer.
Just say what you really feel. You hate Geno Smith. That's it.
Yeah.
You're not talking about football. You just don't like him as a person for the way it ended here in New York and whatever else. He rubbed you the wrong way, and you're not letting it go. Gee, I generally don't give a shit. He's not my neighbor. He's not dating nobody in my family. I don't care what kind of person he is. I don't care about any of that. He's turned his act around in the NFL as a very productive quarterback, and that's all we're asking for. Be productive, be competent, and bring out the best of this offense. And there's just it. We have to embrace it. We have no choice. This is the state of the Jets right now.
Yep.
You're in football quarterback hell. And you got to hope he catches lightning in a bottle and he can turn things around for you. And guess what? If he doesn't, he can be released during the season, cut him, bench him, or next year he's not coming back. No big deal. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, it's a 1-year stopgap option for cheap. And if it doesn't work out, you move on. You get set for 2027 in what should be a loaded quarterback class, and you move on from there. And I was just looking at the comments, Michael Stover, I think it is, who
He's just a hater.
it doesn't seem like he has anything good to say about Geno.
Nope.
You think the Raiders were good last year? He'll play the same as he did with the Jets. Town around him, not much better. That's just flat out false. Okay, the Jets' offensive line's better. By accident, Frank Reich's better than the disaster that Chip Kelly was. Garrett Wilson's better than any wide receiver he played with last year. He's actually going to get the ball to Garrett Wilson. And I don't want to come across like I have high hopes for the Jets this year. Yeah, you guys know as Tyson, you know better than anybody. I'm very down in this football team. I'm very down on this head coach. I have no faith in this head coach. I still think the head coach is a massive problem, even with the quarterback that I like the addition out of the options. I still have major concerns. I think this coach should have been fired, but saying stuff like that is just flat out false. I mean, Chip Kelly was calling plays that weren't in the playbook. Let's get our facts straight here, you know?
Yeah. And so the comment is, I'm not opposed to but you guys sound desperate to make everybody be on board with it. We're not desperate at all. You know who made the move? Frank Reich and Aaron Glenn. We're trying to explain why they did it. But I didn't do shit. I'm not desperate. I didn't make the signing, but I understand it. I respect it, and I'll move forward with it. And you never know. Maybe he'll play well. Maybe he'll play bad. But this is why you get a backup quarterback behind him, because there is no long-term answer, whether it's Geno, Dalton, whoever you bring in here. It's just get through this season and to next season. It's all we're trying to do while winning games and teaching this organization how to win and act like professionals for once, not the bullshit we saw all last year. This is it. Like, we're at rock bottom. You got to go from rock bottom to here and then worry about everything else. So it's just wild. These reactions are wild. But you know, I'm thinking, though, it's like no matter who you get. But I just have a feeling if they signed Kirk Cousins, you'd have 85 people trying to explain why he's good with his bad arm and everything else, as opposed to this. But whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with just Geno and how he is. Not many people like him. I don't know I don't know what the reactions would have been like. Then again, it's the Jets, so even if they signed Kirk Cousins, people would have probably found a way to crap on that somehow, crap on all these guys. But it's just, I don't know. I think a lot of it is people don't like Geno, number one, as we mentioned. I think a lot of it, people are kind of just prisoner of the moment and looking exactly what happened last year and just. But you could look at Geno last season. Okay, look at what the Jets were dealing with last year, quarterback. Because for every Geno was so bad last year, what was Justin Fields? We were watching Brady cook. That was a disaster. Justin Fields, if he does what he did last year, that's a massive upgrade over what Justin Fields did this season. Just think about that. Geno Smith in a bad year where he led the Raiders to the number 1 overall pick is better than what Fields was doing, better than Brady Cook. But that's just the fact of the matter. That's how bad it was.
And people are dumping on it like this. This is the Jets' new franchise quarterback. This is your bridge quarterback. Not that big of a deal. Best chance for this team to compete with all the things stacked against them. You know, coach on the hot seat, Frank Reich coming out of Stanford here. The franchise is basically in shambles at this point. So, like, who cares? It's not. It's just some of these. And it's like, but this is the world we live in. Just dump on the Jets. If their own fans doing it, whatever, dude. I'm gonna sit and root for him. I hope he figures it out and they play good competitive football. It'd be a feel-good story. You can actually come back to the Jets and play good and walk away with his head held high. But that's where I'm at, man.
Yeah, we all hope he does well. We're all Jet fans who want to see this team do well. Here's what I'll say about Geno. At the very least, and we've said this many times, at the very least, it'll be entertaining. Like, he's going to take risks. He's going to take chances. He's kind of similar to Winston. I'd rather go into this season, if they're going to be competitive, I'd rather lose games 31-28, 34-31, as opposed to lose games 6-3 where you can't move the football, the quarterback stinks, you can't complete a forward pass. So that's what I'm at as well. Like, again, let's look at where we're at. from a franchise, from a core perspective, how low the bar is at this position. If he could just be competent, it's an upgrade. Take risks. Throw the ball to Garrett. He's going to force feed Garrett. He always has with his number one receiver. So that's the way I view it. It's just that's the data thing. You're not going to find your future this offseason. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, and the thing is too, it's like let Garrett Wilson be the superstar that he can be. Throw the ball to him 10, 12 times a game, get the ball downfield, stretch the field, maximize what Mason Taylor is. Like, let's see what A.D. Mitchell is instead of Justin Fields hold on the ball for 3 hours. Like, there's so many different things that you can do to open up the offense. Like I said, to make this fun, not the same old stagnant garbage. Run, third and long pass. Can't complete a screen pass. Can't complete a play action pass. Can't complete a deep pass. Like all the little basic things that every other NFL team does, we can't do, can now change. And that's where we're at. Just to take baby steps at quarterback. Like that's how pathetic things are with us right now. He fills that role. And then next year, you try to take a step different. Well, it's just all part of this really, really difficult process.
Yeah, definitely. Now we wait and see who the other veteran is. It sounds like Wentz is out of the equation, which I am totally okay with. He was near the bottom of my list out of the other veteran options. Definitely near the bottom of my list as a starter, also near the bottom as a backup. So whether it's a Tyrod, whether it's an Andy Dalton, he's still out there. Definitely some other options that we can see the Jets bringing in. But the Wentz news, I think most Jet fans, that's maybe one thing we can all agree on is not having Wentz come here.
What's up, man?
Hey, guys. How are you?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing fine. I'm very happy.
You look very happy tonight.
Well, it's Wednesday. It's 2 more days before the weekend. So, listen,
what are your thoughts on the trade, man?
I have no problem with it whatsoever. Listen, bad year doesn't guarantee it's going to have another bad year with us.
Yep.
That was a total mess there. Listen, if it was that bad, why were the Seahawks looking to extend his years with them when he was with Seattle? But they came to an impasse, and then they didn't continue. So he ended up signing with the Raiders, who gave him a big contract as well.
Yep.
You know, Brady's out there. Brady had no problem taking him.
Pete Carroll vouched for him.
Exactly. Listen, it's cheap money. And I can tell you a couple of things. You're not going to have 9 guys in the box trying to stop the run because they know this guy can pass. We're going to throw more than 10 yards. We're going to go past 10-yard passes. That's going to be like something new for us. You know, we're not going to loft a little screen pass and let the defenders come in and tackle our wide receiver behind the line of scrimmage. Listen, this is what we wanted. We wanted a guy who could throw it down the field. This is
the epitome of a bridge quarterback. This is like everybody wants a bridge quarterback until you actually get one and realize what they are. This is exactly what it is. Exactly what it is for a team, like in our state.
Yeah, it is. And that's what we all wanted, right? We wanted someone to get us to 2027. You know? And I want to ask, are you guys, not you guys, but everyone in the chat, are you more worried that this guy's going to win us some games so we don't get to the number 1 pick?
Yep.
Is that what your grief is and you don't want to say it?
It's exactly what it is.
All right.
Yeah, I think probably a portion of it is.
Okay. He's going to ruin our chances of getting up there because we're going to start winning some games. Aren't you guys tired of just watching losing football?
That's exactly it. Well, the thing is this. How about this? If the Jets start playing very good competitive football and start winning games, you know what that means? We may actually have a head coach, which is the most important thing of this. While we think Aaron Glenn blows from last year, if this team shows significant improvement, we're like, wow, they're competitive on both sides of the ball. The offense is well run. The defense is getting after it. Okay, you know, we may actually have something here, which is even more important. That's the like listen, if you don't have to blow up your entire coaching staff, that's called progress as opposed to last year.
And also, you guys can root for Indianapolis, for Green Bay and Dallas to have bad years. Doesn't have to be us losing. Could be them losing, and we'll still get a high pick.
But at some point, you got to start winning games, Afram. Like, at some point, you can't have Membu be here for 2 years and all he knows is winning friggin' 5 games. You know, Garrett Wilson's probably on the brink right now. Now you have your young nucleus. You're going to add this entire draft class in, 4 more quality picks. Start learning how to win, build your culture, build your organization, and move forward. You do that by actually winning games, not talking about it. And this is where they're at now. Your tank season was last year. This organization is not going to go through another 2-15 year. They're just not going to do that.
No, you got to teach these guys what it is to win. They're tired of losing, and you got most of the guys out. So this is your chance to start winning and breeding a winning culture. You can't just keep losing because you're just going to continue to lose.
And you start losing. You lose more players too. Where Brees is already checked out. Brees wants to change the scenery. The last thing you need to lose is like a Garrett Wilson or somebody like that. Like you've got to start turning this around because guess what? Also, the funny thing is, guess what winning also does? Players may actually want to come here. Right now, the Jets are bargain basement shopping. They got Fitzpatrick on a trade. They're getting guys on trades, but no big names coming here right now because they don't want to. The Jets suck, and there's nothing to actually kind of embrace. Now, coming off last year's debacle, you win 6 games, 7 games this year, and you're like, wow, this Jet team got some fight. They look a little bit different. Aaron Glenn's got more respect. Then you can start luring difference makers in from free agency.
Yeah, you're going to have 3 number 1s next year, plus your number 2, and free agency with more money.
Yep.
And you'll build your team more.
It's all building blocks.
It's not going to happen overnight, like everyone wanted it. But listen.
But
he's confident.
The biggest complaint that you could actually have is this should have happened last year. This is the way you build your team last year with a much better bridge quarterback, much better signings, and Aaron Glenn having a much different staff. This is the way they're handling things now is a year too late, but this is where the Jets are. They have to live and learn, and we had to deal with it as fans. But now you're like, all right, you can see a glimmer of hope with the way Muji's building the roster makes a lot of sense. Smart, savvy contracts, no reaches, guys that are young, hungry, hardworking, energy guys, motor guys, character guys, leaders. This is how you got to change it. So there's a blueprint now. We didn't see a blueprint last year with your Stone Smarts and your Josh Reynolds, all the shit we dealt with. Now you're seeing more quality players that fit better.
Yeah, we also last year we had to wait on cutting Adams just to get money back into the cap to do things. So that was so you basically had to do bargain shopping at that point. And plus, like you said earlier, you wanted to see what you have in this team, and you know who you're going to get rid of. So, listen, I have no problem with it. You've seen it. He throws interceptions, but a lot of guys throw interceptions. Yeah. Darnold threw 14 last year.
Darnold threw a lot when he was here before he left.
Yeah, he threw 14 last year, and he's a Super Bowl winner. Let's you're not going to get the sexy pick every time. Okay?
Not with your New York Jets that are one of the worst teams in football.
Let's start winning. Let's start building a core, and then this way we could have year after year of competition and try to make the playoffs or be in the playoffs. Okay? You so many teams that have good players don't make the playoffs either.
True.
Detroit
Lions.
Yeah. Didn't the Ravens with their number 1 best quarterback in the league didn't make it 8-9.
Yep. Jets are rock bottom. They're trying to find their way up, and they're all just little pieces to the puzzle.
We reached bottom, and now we're rising up. Finally, we reached bottom. So
look at this. He's actually smiling, Bubs. You see this?
I'm always smiling.
Thanks for calling, man. We appreciate it.
Oh, anytime. Take care,
dude.
Bye-bye.
So the really cool thing about our channel is that when you go somewhere else, Oscar the Grouch always follows you. So I was on Jake's show today, and on the chat, you see Oscar talking all kinds of shit. It's Oscar. Thank you, dude. I appreciate it, man. It's so funny seeing like people pop in the chat. It's absolutely hysterical, man. So
they follow you around.
it's outstanding, man. Let's see what we got here. There was another comment. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Appreciate this. Appreciate all the support. Michael clearly wants to be miserable. Good for him. Drafting Ty Simpson at 2 is going to upset a lot of people. I don't think that's happening whatsoever. I think if you maybe 33, they consider it, but I don't see nothing at that. That's definitely not going to happen at pick 2.
Yeah, I think most likely scenario would be 33 or trade back into the first like the Giants did with Dart, but I don't see 2 and I still don't see 16, but I could be wrong. 16 definitely feels more likely than it was a couple months ago, but I still think they stay put at 2 and 16, upgrade the rest of the roster, and in 33 if he's there or trade back in.
The one thing I will say is this. This is the time once free agency dies down, all of the draft buildup starts to begin. You know,
Yeah.
Ty Simpson just got done filming that with John Gruden, that QB class.
Yeah.
Once that video comes out, people are like, oh, wait a minute. There's some things I like about his. You
Yeah.
watch the pro day. Oh, wow, he does this. I like this. Then you get 2 or 3 of your favorite analysts to give him a great write-up or review. And then, boom, Ty Simpson is back, and we're back talking about how he should be there at 16. So this is the time of year where it happened last year with Dart. It happens where this just the rise comes up. The only concern with Ty Simpson is he has all the characteristics you want except experience. And that's the thing that takes away where it's the game. It's just not enough starts. He's definitely raw. He's got a long way to go. And you have to kind of hang on Frank Reich heavily to blossom, to groom him over the next year or so to get him like where you feel comfortable playing him next year.
Yeah. It's got to be a situation where he's sitting, learning behind Geno, whoever the other veteran is, Frank Reich. Like, you can't force him out there week 4, week 5. You've got to make sure there's a clear plan in place for him where earliest he's starting like week 12, week 13, the inexperience is big. But you mentioned Dart. That's kind of a very similar comp because I believe Dart last year had something with Gruden, if I remember, around the same time too, or maybe it was Gruden that really liked Dart or something along those lines where he ended up skyrocketing up. So, and there's a lot of smoke too this time of year. So I'm sure we'll get a lot of Jet like Simpson at 16. We'll start to hear some of that.
I'm telling you, as the draft gets closer, his stock's going to rise and it's going to get really interesting. Yep. What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey guys, how's it going? Can you guys hear me?
You're good.
Yeah. I think it's the first time I've called in since like 2022 or something, but all's been going well. I've been listening in, since the last time I called in, but I thought this was a great time to make my comeback. I think this is the perfect topic. I don't know if you guys remember, but I'm a Seahawks fan.
Yep.
So I've been calling in. Oh, sorry. When I did call in, I kind of gave some input from the perspective of a Seahawks fan. So yeah, one thing, very happy about the Super Bowl win. Very happy to see Jose happy.
Very lucky. Yeah.
But with regards to Geno, and for all the Jets fans that are like super down about this move, I just want to rewind the clock a little bit to the offseason of 2022. All right, we just traded Russ, and we thought we didn't have a quarterback. I didn't even know Geno was starting until like probably April or May. And all my friends clowned me because I'm like, everyone thought that Geno was a gone case, right? Like he was just a career backup for the past couple of years at that point. We went 9-8 and a playoff berth, 9-8 again, missed the playoffs by half a game, 10-7 and should have made the playoffs, right? And I don't think anyone expected that. I didn't expect that. And the O-line that the Jets have right now in terms of both youth and I think ability to get better, and also just consistency from last year. I know you lost AVT, but generally the O-line and how consistent it's been over the past year is better than anything he had in Seattle. Like he consistently had a really bad O-line and he still had really good pocket mobility. That's the biggest thing. He's not a super Justin Fields, he's not going to rush every single time. He's not going to rely on his legs. He does when he needs to, and he's pretty lethal that way, but his shiftiness in the pocket's really good. And in Oakland, it was way worse, right? I think people give him too much flack for that. Obviously, you had Chip Kelly leaving halfway through, highest paid OC. He didn't do anything. He was he was calling plays he didn't install. And then he got fired. Pete Carroll was out here hiring his sons to be assistant coaches and wasn't firing them. He wasn't playing his rookies. Geno had probably the worst O-line in the league. He didn't have any competent wide receivers to the point where it looked like Tyler Lockett for most of the year was probably his most competent receiver until Brock Bowers came back and Genty became like a de facto slot receiver in addition to being a running back. So I'm not putting any of that on Geno as much. Yeah, he made some mistakes, but what he has on the Jets, right? I think if he can use the shiftiness in the pocket behind the O-line that you guys have and you guys are building, throwing to Garrett Wilson, throwing to guys like Mason Taylor and A.D. Mitchell, who I think can be really, really good at their roles as tight end 1 and wide receiver 2. I just think that it's a much better setup than last time, especially I believe in Frank Reich. I think he did really well with Foles and Wentz in the past couple of years. And they share similar body traits as well with Geno, not super, they don't rush a lot, shifty in the pocket, decent arm, and pretty accurate, right? So I think it's much better than Jets fans think it'll be. This is not 2013. And take it from a Seahawks fan, right? Don't assume anything just because of what the media is saying or just because you think he's going to suck, that he's going to suck. I don't believe in that, and that's been proven false with both him and Sam Darnold.
Yeah, and the thing is too is this is actually a great call. Is you talk about the offensive line, add in having a legitimate running game. If Breece Hall's still here, they run the football, opening a lot of other options for Geno, taking pressure from there. There's a lot of ways you can make Geno just a very competent quarterback here. So he's got the arm strength for the Northeast. He's played in MetLife before. He's played in the Northeast. He knows all this. So listen, it's not the end all be all. It's not a franchise quarterback. We're not talking Pro Bowl. We're not talking playoffs. We're talking get us through this lousy period of history at the Jets to make us look competent and competing week in and week out. That's all we're asking for. I'm not asking for much here.
Yeah. And he's a good bridge quarterback too. Like I know there's a lot of Jets fans that want the number 1, number 2 overall pick. That want that. I just don't believe in that as a football fan. I don't think you could root for that year in and year out. Like ever since I've been calling in, I feel like some people in the chat's just been a broken record. Oh, let's tank this year and we're going to get a high pick next year. Except for 2022, I feel like it's been the case for some people in the chat year after year. You can't think like that every year. And there's no guarantee that even with a high pick, you're going to pick the right guy, right? In 2021, if you guys had picked Justin Fields back then, you picked Zach Wilson with the number 2 overall pick. I know there was conjecture about picking Justin Fields.
Yep.
Either way, I think you guys would have been screwed, right? Like it's not a sure case, and you have a lot of other first round picks that you can draft. Receiver, O-line, even if you want to beef up the defense, which I think they need to. Like, there's a lot of other avenues to go about bettering the team rather than constantly tanking and hoping for the next shiny quarterback.
Yeah, you got to turn the page. Thanks for calling, man. We appreciate it.
Awesome, thanks, guys.
Great call. Thank you.
And I always
good.
Oh no, yeah, not to cut you off, and that was a really good call. A lot of good info too on Geno and what took place last year, which I think needs to be more of a thing that needs to be said with Vegas and everything that was going on around him. But it's a good point. Like the Jets have 3 first-round picks next year. Obviously, if they start 0-9, 0-10, and the bottom's falling out, then fine. Yeah, go 0-17, go 1-16 at that point, get the number 1 overall pick. But going into the season, you could be competitive and also get your quarterback the next year. Like they can win 7 games and still draft a quarterback in 2027. We always use the example, but the Bills made the playoffs the year before they got Josh Allen. Like it's not – they've got 3 first-round picks. They've got a ton of ammunition. They don't got to go 1-16 and have to get the number 1 overall pick just so they could for sure get a quarterback. There's tons of quarterbacks that are supposed to come out next year. Now, that's way down the line. We got to see, similar to last year, everybody said, oh, wait till 2026. And here we are in 2026, and the options are slim. So we have to see if 2027 really lives up to the case. The draft class in general, people hype up that draft class. But fact of the matter is this team can be competitive. They can win some games, which they need to. This coach needs to. This GM needs to see these moves that he's made put in place and have success. And if they could do that, you could also trade up. You have ammunition, work the board. Like, there's multiple ways to go about getting a quarterback and finding your long-term answer there because, in past tankings just worked out so well for us, right? Tyson, because Zach Wilson was just such a stud here when we, got the number 2 overall pick. And I've seen that too. It is ridiculous. I have seen some people bring up Zach Wilson and Geno Smith on Twitter about like, in the same breath. It's just like, what are we doing?
They just hate the guy, dude. It's wild. Like, I don't listen. I'm not calling him the end all be all. It's like, all right, he's our quarterback. They have a chance to compete now. Bring in somebody behind him. I know they signed a guard. You still need to add another playmaker. You can't get a wide receiver in free agency, get one at 16. There's a lot of different ways. Yeah. It's just building up your offense and figuring out he's going to help you do that. Me personally, I'm glad Wentz is not an option anymore. I'd go Andy Dalton. If you want to go somebody else, cool. Like it's fine, man. It's just we need adults in the room. We need guys that can actually play football and not pray they can complete a pass.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's funny. We find a decent bridge and people hate it. Like everybody
wants a bridge until you get one.
Yeah, until you get one. And then there's people, they should have gone Anthony Richardson. Oh yeah, because Anthony Richardson has just accomplished so much in his NFL career. Yes, please feed me 17 games of Anthony Richardson. That'll work out real well.
Do you want to go to Geno Smith's biggest hater?
Yes, Geno, man.
There he is.
Nowhere, man. Okay.
Hello. How we doing?
Get ready for the Geno Smith camp. Get ready, Geno Smith up close look at camp, random man.
Can't wait.
Summer
I'm dressed up tonight. Dressed up for Michael Clemens' departure.
Yes.
We got big money too.
Put on my bet. The Colts are doing us a favor here. This is gonna work out.
That's highway robbery on his part.
But what was the guy? Was it Kinlaw got that huge contract from the Commanders? And we're like, wait, Kinlaw was terrible here. The Clement stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
I am so
I'll take
happy he is done.
I'll take it. So I've calmed down a little. I'm still a little up. I'm still a little hot. But first of all, I will say that if the Jets end up getting Ty Simpson at whatever pick they get him at, I'm fine with that. It kind of makes the move more palatable, and that like, okay, like he really is like the definition of a bridge quarterback. We're gonna, he's gonna start a year. Ty Simpson will sit most of the season. Fine, whatever. The reason that I think a lot of Jets fans, including myself, are very down on Geno is that it's not just that we're rooting for tanking or that, obviously there's going to be individuals that have their own kind of thing, but the rooting for tanking or that like we're rooting because we just hate the guy. I mean, I have my own history with Geno, but put that aside. It's because it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing that we have this guy who not only played for us, but we could put that aside for now, that last year he led one of the worst, and the Raiders were not supposed to be a bad team. If memory serves me right, they had Pete Carroll, they were going all in, and then look what happened. So the fact that he blew up with the Raiders, and now all of a sudden, and granted, I understand your argument, Tyson, that Geno Smith can be a good quarterback. It's kind of the same thing like with Rodgers, where Rodgers went from being here to the Steelers, and they made the playoffs. The Steelers have a good head coach. We don't have that. So,
but that's the embarrassing thing. The embarrassing thing is you have one of the worst head coaches in football. You let him come back a second year, fire his entire staff, and rebuild it. That's the embarrassing thing. Not bringing Geno back. Bringing Geno back is the product of all the shit things the Jets have done. The mishandling of everything else this is where it brought us to. That's the embarrassing thing.
I think they could both be embarrassing. I don't want to say that Geno Smith
back. I'm not embarrassed by it. I'm not embarrassed by it at all.
The embarrassing aspect to me is, the owner's an embarrassment. Start there, but this offseason, like you talk about embarrassment, it's the way they went about the coaching staff. It's the way they went about firing Engstrand. They moved on from Wilkes. They had Wink for a month and a half on their radar just to tell him in an in-person interview, I want to call plays. And then you interview Duker on a Monday. You hire him Tuesday morning after one Zoom call. Like, that was completely backwards. Him going into his press conference saying he's got superpowers. Like, that's the embarrassing
raising
part of
tickets
this
during a
offseason
losing
to me.
season for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Bringing back a competent quarterback is not embarrassing to me.
The thing is, though, I'm not saying this is kind of like, I feel like we have these arguments and it's like this whataboutism. It's not, those things can be embarrassing on the side. I don't have to say that, oh, this is and this isn't. What about ownership? What about coaching? I mean, that's fine. We all know.
What about Geno is embarrassing? He's a bridge quarterback the Jets need. Okay. They have a need.
But he's bad. He's bad. He did not have a good season last year. The Seahawks, you can argue he was definitely good there at some point. Something went wrong. They couldn't win a playoff game.
I'd say at some point.
They couldn't win a playoff game. They obviously, as soon as they got Darnold.
Is he the new franchise quarterback? Are we saying Geno has to make the playoffs this year?
Well, but here's the thing.
What is he bringing brought here to do?
I don't know because Glenn doesn't have that kind of leash. He doesn't.
You don't know. He's got a 1-year deal for $3.3 million on a rebuilding team. He's being hindered to be a Band-Aid to help patch this organization together and implement an offense. Do an install while you groom a young quarterback and build for next year. That's it.
Yeah,
Nobody's saying he's got to be this. He's not a savior, dude. He's a Band-Aid.
I don't know. I just don't.
That's exactly what he is.
So, I guess you go ahead. You can finish your argument.
No good.
I just don't. When I look at these moves that we have made, and you the signings of everyone to these short-term deals, like you guys are saying, oh, we got 1-year deals, like, Geno Smith, we can always get rid of him. Glenn is on a short leash. We know that. It just seems like this is just kind of like them hedging their bets, almost in a sense of saying, well, if we have to blow everything up as soon as Glenn blows it all, that's fine.
You build through the draft.
Obviously it's a long-term goal, but right now, what are we doing? This move doesn't make it doesn't move the needle. Going from horrible to slightly bad. That's
moving the needle. Going from a quarterback that can't complete a screen pass to a guy that can run an offense is a significant upgrade.
Here's the main point that I think was really sticking in my mind is that when you go, I understand that argument of going from, okay, you're so bad, you need a respectable person to bring in, go from horrible to just slightly bad. That works if you're like in a Robert Saleh situation where you have 5 years. We don't have that. We're kind of in this nether zone right now.
We're not in a nether zone. We're in a true rebuild. You're
No,
trading
we're
away
not.
all your
No,
good
we're
players.
not. We're not in a true rebuild.
The fuck
at this
we're not.
moment.
We traded away Sauce Gardner, Quentin Williams, and Jermaine Johnson. You're
Yeah,
trading
we
away
still
all
have
your
the head
best
coach
players
and
for
the GM,
draft
so
picks
what do you-
to build through the draft. You gutted your team out to rebuild it. That's exactly where we're at right now.
I mean,
This isn't a win now team. What are you kidding me?
I'm not saying it's a win now team. I just don't think it doesn't have we're not committing to a fresh start. We're signing guys to 1-year deals. This isn't exactly like
You build through the draft, dude, and you try to find guys that fit here. Secondly, what elite level talent wants to come to this team right now? You got to do what you can with what you have. And hopefully Osai works out. Fitzpatrick works out. And as you win, they will come. But the primary goal of this, with all this draft compensation, is you have 4 picks. These top 4 picks right here should all be contributors this year. There's 4 starters. That's how you rebuild your team. They're on 4 or 5 year deals. That's how you rebuild your team.
I mean,
Bubs, your thoughts?
Yeah.
No, I guess just the whole this is I mean, I don't know how other way to phrase it. It is a true rebuild. Like a retool, a fake half rebuild would be like the offseason of 24 where they try to run it back with Rodgers when this team was not winning out. They had all those, Mike Williams, Tyron Smith, all those old veterans they brought in that blew up in their face. Like the Jets, they traded away. They have 5 first-round picks over the next 2 years, tons of cap space this year, tons of cap space next year. I guess to me, you bring up of Geno isn't getting us anywhere. He's getting us to slightly bad, which is an upgrade. Who in your eyes is, and I giggle a little bit every time when we talk about like slightly bad. It's just so sad to bring up, or atrocious to bad. I guess for you though, like what was Carr? Like, is there another quarterback that you feel would have gotten us any further? So it's, I guess in your mind, is it just whoever we have, we're just
There's
screwed?
no I went through my options like 3 days ago or 2 days ago whenever I last called in. I don't think we're kind of at that point where it doesn't matter who you bring in a sense, but it just, I don't know. There's just something.
It doesn't matter because you don't believe in Glenn, or doesn't matter because you just don't like the quarterbacks?
Well, I think that there's some quarterbacks with upside, obviously. I don't think Geno Smith is that quarterback.
So, okay,
I
so
think
what
that-
quarterback has upside?
Yes, and who would it be?
You want to pay
Malik
Malik
Willis
Willis?
was a perfect example. Obviously, we can't do that because we just already went all in on Fields. So that's out of the way. I mean, I think that for some reason, just because what he was able to do with the Cardinals being so bad, Jacoby Brissett was a good option.
But he wasn't available.
He wasn't available. So exactly.
So then
So
what
I
are we
don't.
talking about? We're talking about guys that aren't available. Let's play in fantasy land. Well,
Well,
you know
first
what?
of all,
Yeah,
they
Would
can't-
be
if-
great too.
Yeah, I'd love to
trade
trade Josh Allen right now.
Yeah.
You can't. Okay, let's not compare. Obviously, Jacoby Brissett could have been available if the Jets wanted him to be.
Well, you need to give him a 2nd-round pick, 1st-round pick.
No,
for him,
you're not getting a
haphazardly.
second-round pick or whatever. You
So
get
he's
what
not
I'm
available.
trying to say.
What are you trying to say? You're mentioning
I'm
guys that aren't
trying to
available.
say that there are guys out there that have better upside than Geno Smith, who we just saw.
Then why did they? Who are they? Okay, the Jets just did this yesterday. Who are those guys that are available to the New York Jets that they blew it by not getting yesterday? Who is it?
Who are the guys I said? Brissett,
Okay,
Willis.
but the key word is who's available. Brissett's the starting
available?
quarterback with the Cardinals. He's not available. So why are we talking about him?
Because this is the scenario we find ourselves in. I'm grading it based on
You're
what
grading,
so
you're
then-
grading- this is ridiculous because you're grading on like nobody's available. There's none of Brissett was my number 1 guy. He's not available. Guess what you do? You have to pivot. So then you pivot. So who is the guy that's available that you said, you know what? I want Geno over him because they could have got him yesterday instead. Who was it?
Well, here's the thing. Like I said, it doesn't matter if we find, like, for example, is Kirk Cousins still available? I think he is. It doesn't matter if you sign Kirk Cousins. The point is that I'm not going to sit here and parade this move like, oh, this is a great move. This is a great step for the franchise going
Who's
forward.
parading it? The Jets found their bridge quarterback.
I'm not going to say it's not a positive. You're framing it like
How is
it's
it not a positive?
What'd you say?
The Jets upgrade their quarterback position. How is that not a positive?
It's not a positive because it doesn't actually move the needle in the right direction.
What the fucking move? Okay, so in your world, what moves your needle?
Listen, at the end of the day, you try to find somebody that can make that next step forward to 7-8 wins. I don't think Geno Smith, based on what I've seen, has the ability to do that. I don't know if that's a personal thing. Obviously, if you believe in him, from your perspective, Tyson, I can see how that's a positive.
So then what quarterback in your world can get the Jets to 7 wins this year?
None, because we messed it up.
Messed it up how?
We messed up the quarterback situation. We can't pay anybody because we're paying fees.
How though?
What do you mean how? We can't commit to, we have the most dead cap in the league.
If the Jets wanted Malik Willis, they could have paid for him. He didn't want to come here. He wanted to go to Dolphins with guys that knew who he was.
I mean, first of all, you got to take everything with a pinch of salt. I think that you can negotiate your way around things. You can't look at me straight in the face and say,
let's be honest.
There's no world Malik Willis wouldn't have come here. I mean, this isn't exactly Sam Darnold.
They weren't going to give Malik Willis $45 million guaranteed. There was no world in which that was happening after what took place last season with Fields.
The Jets have plenty of cap space to do whatever they want. If there was a home run quarterback out there, the Jets could have paid for him. Guess what? There wasn't.
And also, we're not going to do that. That's one reason, because we've already paid. We're paying 3 quarterbacks or something.
Nobody gives a shit about paying quarterbacks.
Okay, fine. We're not going to do that because we have Aaron Glenn, who's only going to be here for a year.
But that's not true. The Jets are trying to win games this year, but unfortunately, the market is dry. So now they're paying $3.3 million, which is tremendous valuable for a bridge quarterback.
I mean, I will say the contract is pretty good, as much as I don't
shit.
I
guess
it is very low risk. I will give you that, Tyson.
All right, before we let you go, what's your assessment of Cade York? You're the kicking expert.
Cade York.
It's terrible.
If you watched that Bengals game last year, I think that gives you all you need to know. Clutch guy right there for us. Gonna, whenever you call his name up, he'll deliver for what we need. Can't wait to watch some Cade York football. LSU legend.
Thanks for calling in, man. I didn't mean to argue with you, but I knew you were going to bring the heat.
We're good. We're all, at the end of the day, we're all Jets fans. We all want what's best in the long term for the team. And, it's good to talk things out civilly.
Yes.
You got a couple months to get ready for Geno training camp practices. Start to buy in.
I'll bust out my children's small jersey, my children's medium. Show up.
Talk to you later, man.
Have a good one.
I warned you about tonight, man. Do you think the Jets pick Aller or Green? Aller for me is 4th round, the earliest. I'm not going to any. I know we were on Jake's show. The guys, you got to take Aller in the 2nd round, and I'm like, absolutely not. 4th round, that's where I'm at with him.
Yeah, he's more of a day 3 guy. I actually happen to not I don't hate Aller. I think there's some upside there from just an arm standpoint, size. There's a lot that needs to be worked on, accuracy. I'm losing the reading defenses, whatever. I'm losing the phrase, but there's a lot that needs to be worked on. I don't mind Aller yet, day 3. And what was the other name? Taylon Green, I think, right? Was the other one he said? Yeah, he's another probably day 3 too. I mean, you're looking at that's kind of more than the Nussmeier. I guess Cole Payton too from North Dakota State's been rising up some boards. Those are kind of the more elite day 2, day 3 guys. Take a flyer on them.
Okay. First of all, Jason, thank you very much, man. You go, in what world is a high variable quarterback with potential coming here and hitting near the high end of that potential? This is the Jets, not Hogwarts. There's no magic. Walk before running. Go with the solid known and be competitive. That's exactly it, man. This is where the Jets are right now. You need to install your offense to figure out what your offense is, how you want to utilize your playmakers, then find a quarterback that fits that mold. And you got to figure that Frank Reich, they all have a vision right now. And as they evaluate their class, all right, listen, Ty Simpson fits, he doesn't fit. We like Nussmeier, we like this, we like that. The Jets are at rock bottom of their offense. This is step 1 of going forward because last year was a complete joke.
Yeah, I just don't get that. And that's why I didn't really get the argument from Random Man's side or a lot of the other Jet fans that aren't they're not going to go from bad to Super Bowl in 1 year. They've got to, they were so bad last year that just being competent, just being bad or slightly bad is an upgrade, as crazy as that sounds. And that's the whole problem that I have about the arguments anti-Geno Smith is, oh, well, he's only going to be here for 1 year. Oh, they're only going to maybe win 7 games. That's the point of a bridge, and that's an upgrade over what we had last season. And the whole, oh, go after Jacoby Brissett. Oh, go after Kirk Cousins. Cousins wasn't coming here. Jacoby Brissett's the starter in Arizona. So you can't throw those guys in the mix of in the mix with Geno. Like, you've out of the realistic names, it would have been like Wentz, Dalton, Sam Howell, I guess. He was still out there. Like, out of those names, out of that grouping, it's ugly. You take Geno 10 times out of 10.
Yep. And now, so this is, the Jets signed Dylan Parham today for the left guard. I think it was 2 years, $16 million, played with the Raiders. Versatile guy. He's played guard. He's played center. I think the guard position is still a work in progress. We can still draft one, do all kinds of things. This question from Daniel is where I'm at right now, where obviously you want to solidify the offensive line, get that piece. But for me, wide receiver is a hole. It's a huge hole because A.D. Mitchell, while you saw some good things, is not your legit number 2 for Garrett Wilson. You're like, you know what? I feel great about it. So what number 2 receiver are the Jets targeting? Free agency's dried up, and these guys got crazy money. Dobbs got crazy money.
Yeah,
I don't think Ayuk's going to come here. Ayuk's going to probably go to Commanders. So it's like you may be relying on pick number 16 in the draft to get your wide receiver, or maybe trade up and go up. But I think that's where you're getting your wide receiver. It's not going to be free agency unless they surprise us with a trade somewhere. And I don't think it's going to be Brian Thomas Jr. either, because you can't give up a second-round pick for him. So I don't think it's going to be.
Yeah, I think you're definitely looking at 16 with a wide receiver. Even if they sign somebody like a Dobbs, I still think you're looking 16 in that range. That's like a prime wide receiver range. The free agent market's really dried up at this point. I mean, you're looking at like the Tim Patricks of the world, Brandon Cooks of the world, like those guys. You're really looking down.
Cooks actually played well last year.
He did play well, and he would be a veteran. Hollywood Brown's still out there.
But these aren't guys that you want to try to find your guy that you could tag up with Garrett Wilson for the next 3-4 years at least. That's going to be in the draft.
And that likely is going to be the draft or a potential Brian Thomas Jr. trade. Maybe that's their route, that they go Brian Thomas Jr. and then draft one at 16 and completely avoid a free agent market and then just have
What are you giving up for Brian Thomas Jr. though? I'm not giving up 16. I'm not giving up 33.
No, I don't. I think if anything, it would probably require a 44, get Brian Thomas Jr., and maybe they send you like a 4th or a 5th back, something like that.
Because it's not like it's funny because like you saw some good from him, but you also saw a lot of bad from him. And right now his market's down where like everybody knows everybody's kind of down on him. I'm not overspending for him, especially if you can go receiver, get your own receiver at 16. Like, all right, like you want that draft flexibility, but it's like, all right. I mean, I'm not giving up a lot for him. Absolutely not.
A name that's still out there, actually, free agent wise, is or maybe not. I think actually the Chiefs might have re-signed him. Never mind. I think Tyquan Thornton. He's kind of a deep threat. He's like more of a vertical guy. He would have been an interesting name, but the Chiefs re-signed him, so take that back. But it's like Dobbs would have been a good name, but he got a good amount of money with New England. I think you're looking at the Tysons of the world, Jordan Tyson of the world. You're looking at the Denzel Boston's, I love Makai Lemon. I don't necessarily know if Carnell Tate's going to be there, but 16 wide receiver, you have A.D. Mitchell, you have Garrett, maybe sign one of these other like 4th tier free agents is just depth. Or there could be another trade out there outside of Brian Thomas Jr. that we're not thinking of, because there was a report that came out yesterday. Darnell Mooney's another one, Calvin Austin, Pittsburgh, that's another name too. Yep. There was a report that came out the other day that I think it was Schefter, that they weren't actively shopping him as opposed to some of the Jet beat guys that said they were. So there's been some
what that means is reports like that means they didn't get the offer they wanted. Now they're not shopping because they want to get better offers. The other thing too is the comment in the chat was, why did the Jets go get Dobbs? It's a two-way street, man. They actually got to want to come here, and it's hard to come here when at that point the Jets didn't have a quarterback. Like we talked about this all offseason. It's great to say go get that receiver. They want to get paid big money. They want to get their numbers and they want to win. You can't even guarantee to get your numbers here at this point, because at that point you didn't know who the quarterback was going to be. So maybe Geno gives you a little bit, but now the wide receiver market just took off. Crazy contracts where Jets like, all right, we have to use different resources. I mean, I know Mechie signed somewhere else, but I wouldn't have brought him back anyway. But it's going to be in the draft, dude, unless you get creative with a trade. And that's it. And then, you have hopefully this year you use Mason Taylor better. You use Breece Hall in a better role. Like they have playmakers on this roster they can use better too to kind of offset their flaws in the passing game.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And you hope that a guy like Mason Taylor could take a step. I know, he's somebody that you would like to see improve in year 2, get Brees involved as well. And then obviously maybe Sadiq from Oregon is somebody to
sign me up for
take
him too.
there too.
No, there's definitely options, man. It's it's only the third day. Well, in theory, the first day of free agency, but there's only the third day, and so much changes between now and August. What you do is you look at the roster, then you go through the draft, and you reassess it again. Then you have like the third wave of free agency when other things happen. You have your roster cuts. You get the training camp, and they say, okay, what's our roster now? Is the offensive line better? Where are the biggest holes at? And now we know where the holes are. You need help at safety still. You need help at wide receiver. You need more O-line depth. I know they brought back Max Mitchell. You need a kicker. Cade York ain't the answer. And you move along. But to Random Man's point, it's like we have so much draft compensation. The key is you got to hit on it. And you got to hit big on it. Like they've got to be not special teams guys, not guys, third stringers. They've got to be impact.
Can't have your Arian Smiths.
Nope, exactly right.
You got to avoid the Arians. Yeah, avoid the Arian Smiths, the Elijah Moores, the Denzel Mims of the recent, run here. And at the end of the day, like that's the importance because you go back to the whole Douglas regime, 2021. They had all the cap space, they had all the draft capital. Didn't work out. They didn't hit. Their free agency was awful. They hit on some picks, but now a lot of that 2022 draft class is dried up anyway. But ultimately, they didn't hit on enough draft picks. They didn't hit on enough free agents. You could have all of the cap space, all the draft picks in the world. If you don't hit on them, it doesn't matter. So you've got to hit on the draft, and that's how really good teams build their team is building through the draft supplement free agency. So you've got to hit on your 2 first-round picks. You've got to find from pick 1 through pick 2 2 through 44 for the Jets. First 4 picks, you got to find legitimate starters. You got to find a stud at 2, a stud at 16, and 2 quality starters at 33 and 44. No excuses.
Yep, I completely agree. And now a lot of comments in the chat is talking about Muji screwed up by not paying Folk. I tend to agree because you look at you don't want to be penny wise and dollar foolish. Folk was literally your MVP last year. Now I guess he's up in age. I understand it, but let's act. It was 2 years, $9 million or something like that. He got like I think it's $4 million a year, whatever. Like it's not cap breaking money where like you have that continuity. But in this scenario, I'm going to go by last year saying, you know what, Chris Banjo came off as a very qualified, good, special teams coordinator. Maybe they know how to. Maybe they have somebody there. Maybe another guy you can bring in for competition. You draft somebody. But there's no way in living hell that you bring in Cade York as your foregone conclusion starter and move on from that. So, I mean, that's my take on kicker, but it is surprising Nick Folk isn't back, man, especially after last year.
No, yeah, I'm really disappointed with not having Folk back. He was arguably the team MVP. He won the Falcons game. He was a big piece for this team. And it showed no signs of slowing down. Now, kickers are like relievers in baseball. Once they fall off, they fall off. But until then, you got to keep running it back with them. I'm very concerned right now about the kicker position, no doubt, and it's something that needs to be brought up and should be brought up because a lot of times people like to just sweep that stuff under the rug. The Jets themselves did it with Zerline. We were talking about, I remember there were streams talking about Zerline struggling in training camp, struggling in preseason. Everybody swept that under the rug. Yeah, even in that New England game, he missed a few kicks. Now, they won 24-3, so nobody said anything. But even that New England game, he missed the kick and all that stuff. Everybody swept under the rug until it started to kill us. That Bills game on Monday night, all that stuff. So, yeah, Cade York hasn't kicked in the NFL. The reality is in a year. He didn't kick at all last year. So this is a guy that's been out of the league now for a season, still only 25 years old. You do have to hope that Banjo, finds somebody UDFA at the end of the day. McNamara was a no-name before this season, too. They found him, and he turned into one of the better punters in the game. So the Jets are coming off a year where their special teams unit was historically good, the only good thing for this team in 2025. So you hope that this is Banjo see something in York, bring in some competition, and maybe one of these guys can be like your Austin McNamara, and you have him for many years down the road as opposed to maybe one more year of Folk. I'm not saying I agree with the Folk move. I'm just saying that's probably their vision. That's probably their reasoning behind this. I would have brought Folk back, but that's kind of where things stand, I think, from Banjo's perspective.
Well, it's crazy. Look at Harrison Mevis, too, with the Rams. Like the Jets have him in camp, the big leg young kid that could be your kicker for a bunch of years. So we'll see. Yeah, Brian, thank you, man. Thanks to Jake, too, man. We're on with Jake for an hour today, and all you guys in the chat firing things out was super cool. So I appreciate it. Yeah, so kicker's definitely an issue, but, benefit of doubt to Banjo. And, Banjo talks to Mike Westhoff where they have that little, like you almost have confidence there. With the Jets coaching staff, that's rare because you're like, all right, I trust them for now, but it's still something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, Banjo is the only coach on this staff that deserves the benefit of the doubt. The only one really in this regime that deserves the benefit of the doubt. So you have to hope. And like you mentioned with Mevis, as much as, now it didn't really matter much because Folk was really good last season. So it's not like they got rid of Mevis and kept Folk, and Folk was a disaster. But the fact that Mevis had success also showed you that whatever the Jets saw in him to bring him in the first place, obviously – was good enough to kick in playoff games and have a ton of success for the Rams. So I think that should tell you something too, that they brought Mevis in. Folk was the veteran reliable option. They were good with him. Fine. Folk was perfect for this team, but you hope that they can find their Mevis as well. And this time help, if anything, hang around, if that makes sense.
Did we get Jamal Adams back or not? I haven't heard anything about Jamal Adams.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was just looking on Twitter a little bit ago because I saw some comments that I don't know if they were saying Jamal Adams is back, but yeah, PFF, there's like this weird glitch. If you go on PFF, it says he says he's on the Jets. So,
as a linebacker,
get the whole band back. Yeah, all the band back together. Jamal Adams, you get Demario Davis, Geno Smith.
Yeah,
we could add Nick Folk. Could add all of them.
All right. What's up, man? How you
get
doing?
Bilal Powell out of retirement.
Hey, guys. Yeah, this whole thing, I mean, with Geno Smith, I'm really surprised at the backlash, but then again, I'm not. I think a lot of people either are dreaming that this is the year the Jets are going to win everything because we had last year, or they're mad at the franchise and they're just saying anything they do is garbage because Smith is what they were looking for. They're looking for a bridge quarterback. This is a transition year. This is not a winning year by any means.
Yep.
And then you get like if I look younger because of Geno, I'm in trouble. But anyhow, they're missing so much. They're missing the fact that in that pool of quarterbacks out there was nobody out there. I don't care what anybody tells me.
Nope.
Who in the end is going to be better than Geno. Murray technically is a better quarterback. I am not going to argue it, but he didn't fit the scheme. He's got problems. He's lazy. He's not going to fit the culture, and he's going to want to go someplace where he can be the hero, and he's not going to be on the Jets, and you don't need that. And with Geno, there's a couple of things going on him. Someone made a really good point in another comment, and I said, it's really true. He's not banged up. He hasn't been, because he's been a backup and stuff. He's not banged up. He's not Kirk Cousins and Derek Carr, who, quite honestly, from a medical thing, I wouldn't touch him. It's not that they can't play quarterback. They can. They both can play quarterback. But they both had significant injuries to the throwing arms.
Yep.
And the older you get, the worse it gets. You don't recover from rotator cuff. You don't recover from all that stuff very easily. I'm old enough. I can tell you that, guys, right now, you don't.
Well, especially playing in the Northeast and the way in the MetLife Stadium, it's just Geno's arm strength is much more suited than both those guys.
He is. And the thing about Geno, look, you know what he is, right? With Seattle, he did really well out there. And the funny part is the same people that are now signing Geno were the ones saying, look at Geno. The Jets screwed up another quarterback who went someplace and became good. Well, now all of a sudden he's not good anymore because he had one bad season at Las Vegas. And if you look at the Las Vegas thing, yes, you can see it. I know why. You can say, well, a good quarterback wouldn't have had the problem. A really good quarterback may have been able to play in that environment. It was a mess. First of all, I never thought Chip Kelly was a good OC, and I'll go to my grave on that one. He was a gimmick, and it was not. It worked in college. It didn't work in the pros. He's not. Yep. Secondly, they had no offensive line. Their offensive line was garbage.
Yep.
They also had they really didn't have a running game. They really did not have good receivers.
Well, Brock Bowers was
out.
Yep.
Bowers was out. So he was throwing to nobody. He was still able to he still threw for 3,900 yards.
Didn't they trade the receiver too? They traded what's his face to the Jaguars, didn't they?
Yeah, Jacoby Myers.
Yeah. So they basically, he was working. It was not a good team. And I generally don't like to make those excuses because you can make that about a lot of quarterbacks who I think are bad. It's a gene. He's competent. He's a decent quarterback. Is he going to be a top 10 quarterback? Nope. I don't think so. He could be, but I don't think so.
He doesn't have to be, though, dude. Top 25. top 20.
Well, he'll give you a
23.
game. The point is, he'll give you a game. The
That's
problem
it.
with Geno is you get pressure on him. He will chuck the ball downfield without looking. It'll get picked.
It happens.
But you know what? I think I'd rather see that than see a Justin Fields that couldn't hit a dump off pass or was getting sacked all the time. Now, I wish Geno would take sacks more because honestly, he'd hold up a lot of his things. But if you have the right scheme around him, and I have to trust that Frank Reich has been around long enough to tailor it to him and say, look, I know what we need for him.
Yep.
We've got the makings there. The offensive line, yeah, we need a guard probably. The guy they signed is a decent backup. He might be a starter. I'm not sure. He's on the edge, but he's at least he could play, but he's depth. We probably will want to get another guard in there. But he can, in that kind of environment, he can do okay. He's got a running game. If he's got a couple of decent receivers, if we have more than Garrett Wilson and some of the other guys come on and stuff, they can do well. If the defense, the other thing is,
this is easy. Like you're talking about the recipe to win: run the football, play good defense, play good special teams. You'll be in every game. And then Geno has to make what 2 or 3 good throws a game to maybe make a big swing.
Hopefully more to make it interesting because I don't want to see an Aaron Glenn run kick game either.
But I'm saying their whole goal is establish the trenches on both sides of the ball, run the ball, feature Breece Hall, and then open up where Geno Smith can throw a ball downfield to A.D. Mitchell and Garrett Wilson.
Which is the other
that's
thing
how you win.
Which is the other thing you got to keep in mind with this year that people are forgetting is that what they're doing is, they're not making the big splashy signings. None of these people really are big splashy. They're building the base of the foundation of the pyramid. They're building it. This is your guts. They're not superstars, but they're solid players, and you need that. And you know what? This year, that's what they're going to go for. Now they go in the draft. They may go after some flashy guys. I'm calling them flashy guys that have the potential to be up there in the league, like any of these guys, Reese, Bain, any of these guys we've been talking about, right? Or wide receiver. Wide receiver in the draft, you can get them all over, but try to get the best, go high with it and see what you can get, either at 16 or 33, or both if you want to do it that way. It depends on what they're doing. They've got to do it. I have a lot more trust in Muji than I do Glenn. I'm seeing a little bit more, even though Glenn, obviously these are all defensive players and they're his kind of guys. I think Muji's been able to find these guys. I think he's been able to work out the deals and stuff like that. He's giving Glenn what he wants.
I think it's there's a lot of different things that go into that. I think that when they're trying to find players for a Steve Wilkes defense, it got a little muddy there. Where they're first of all, they're trying to learn their jobs. 2 first-timers, general manager, head coach, trying to find guys for Steve Wilkes defense and Tanner Engstrand's offense that was never established before. The comedy mistakes they made last year is ridiculous. Now you have a guy that comes in, Frank Reich says, this is my offense. It's exactly what I need. Aaron Glenn's defense, he knows exactly what he needs. It makes Darren Muji's job a lot easier when you have that in place already. This way he did this shit last year.
I mean, the point is he's finding value out there. He's doing it. He's giving him the kind of players he wants. These guys, some of them are young and hungry. They want to get in there and play. They want to be starters. They haven't necessarily been totally. And it's there. And these are the kind of things that make a big difference. Getting back with Geno Smith, the other thing is people remembering the past, and it's stupid. He's a different person, totally. Here's a guy, he was a 22-year-old, and he had problems back there. Let me tell you. He had a chip on his shoulder. He was upset he didn't get drafted higher. He thought he was the greatest thing since sliced bread. He thought he should have been the number 1 pick. He had a lot of things going against him. He showed talent with the Jets, but again, obviously, the stupidity that happened there. The guy is in his mid-30s now. This guy has been on how many teams? He's had to grind his way through, man. He didn't have any guts and glory. He was a backup quarterback, which in some ways is one of the least glamorous jobs in the league, one of the more important, but least glamorous. He went through it. He managed to rebuild himself. He's going to be different. I've heard stories, he still has a temper. He probably does. But you know what? The guy's been around. He's been given a chance. He knows what his role is. He knows that he's not going to be – he had 35 or 36. He's not really the QB of the future.
But he also has he's got a huge chip on his shoulder. He's actually talked about it, like coming back to the New York market and redeeming himself and proving himself. Like, listen, I'm a different player. I'm a better player. Yeah, it's thanks for calling in, man. We got to wrap this up. It's almost 8:15 already. Yeah. Thanks for calling in, man. We appreciate it.
Well, anyhow, guys, those are my thoughts. Talk to you later.
It's over an hour already? What the hell have we been doing? This is crazy.
It's been a long one. Almost 15 minutes past our normal starting time.
Muji is creating a team that fits together to play as a unit that's better than individual players with talent. What he's doing is he's bringing guys that are very competitive, leaders, love the game of football, high energy, high motor, all of this that kind of gets, they're all like really good ambassadors for all these young players that are looking for leadership and guidance. When you have Demario Davis saying, follow me, this is the way we do things now here, they're all going to fall in place and follow him. And that's what they needed here.
Yeah. Yeah. You get that with Demario Davis. You also got it with Minka Fitzpatrick. There's much more of a plan in place with this free agency in terms of the guys that they're looking for, the type of players they're looking for. They're also getting guys that have a knack for turning the football over. When you talk about just on-the-field play, an area that they obviously struggled with last year. Last offseason, last free agency, with Wilkes running the defense, they were kind of just Tanner Engstrand. There was no plan. He was lost, no veteran in that room. They were just signing guys just to sign guys. It felt like the Stone Smarts, Rashad Weaver, another one I just thought of. He was, he didn't even play. Byron Cowart, remember him?
Hold on. Rashad Weaver was having a standout camp.
Yes.
Got hurt and then mysteriously got signed by somebody else 2 days later.
Yeah. Rashad Weaver. Byron Cowart too got placed on IR. He never played. He was supposed to be. He had a connection with Eric Washington, the D-line coach. That was a disaster.
What a disaster. All right, so we have somebody that doesn't have the camera on. This is breaking our rules. Nate.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Why no camera? You were looking at your logo.
Well, I'm very sick. That's why.
Okay, that's fair. I hope you feel better, man.
Thank you. But I just wanted to say something that's very, it's like, is everybody just tired of tanking and losing? It's just, when have we? I mean, I understand, like, we want to tank March for Arch and all the nonsense and crap. And I'm like, when is just you just get tired of losing? Yep. Like, I just had enough anymore. I understand, Aaron Glenn has to show us something, but Darren Mucci already showed that he is a great GM with the trades. Now let's see how he does in the draft.
Yep.
But it's just, we just gotta stop with the negativity, man. It's just, we just gotta stop saying like, oh, we gotta tank for the best overall. But look how this turned out. With the last time we tanked, we got Zach Wilson. Sucked. We the other one we tanked, we got some great players, but that still sucked. Why do we gotta stop? We gotta stop with the tanking. It's not gonna work with us. Hell, the Buffalo Bills will make it to the playoffs and got Josh Allen. You think that was a good thing? That was good on their part.
Yeah, you got to start winning, man. To get the respect of the players in the building, develop the players in the building, and also get other free agents to want to come here. Exactly. Right now, the Jets are a desirable location. You start turning things around, people start buying in. The whole stench on the Jets starts to slowly go away, and then you can attract better options here.
Exactly, and it's just like it's now 50. It's now like it's like 15 years going to the playoffs. Hell, I was in high school the last time when the Jets went to the playoffs. Come on now, this is ridiculous.
I agree.
I'm in my early 30s, and I'm still hearing people, oh, we got a tank. We got a tank to get the best player in the thing. We got to get all these other players.
You got to start winning and competing, man.
We just got to win. We just got to prove. We just got to we got nothing to lose here. We're literally at the bottom. We're literally at the bottom of the barrel.
It's true.
There's nowhere to go but up, ladies and gentlemen. There's really nowhere to go but up.
No, we've said that before, though, and it's bit us in the ass. But I think this year it sounds like we have a chance. Yeah. Thanks for calling in, man. We appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Feel better.
How we going? Nowhere to go but up.
I said that last year. Now completely.
Yeah. Said it a few times last year.
All right, so we went through. This will be our second Seahawk caller of the night. Can you believe this?
Second, Geno.
Yep.
Redemption.
I'm pretty sure Jose hates Geno, so this can be a very biased call. I think he's all about Sam Darnold. He couldn't take it, so let's see. Well, we were 31. Yeah, we could be 32. I don't think so, though. So Sneakers the Boots says we've been beaten down so bad, but winning is contagious. We freak out after winning 2 games in a row last year after starting 0-7. It's true, man. It's true. But the thing is, too, it's like you need to get the buy-in from – if you can get Garrett Wilson to start enjoying winning here and not ask for a trade, that's a big step. It's just like these – it's just winning does so much for this organization. We haven't experienced it in fucking 16 years in terms of the playoffs, but it just has to happen, man.
Yeah, they got to win games. Like it's been 15 years, no playoffs, going on 16. You change cultures, winning games. That's just the reality. Like we're all sick and tired of losing every single year. It's just be competitive, be competent, be in the conversation. Don't be out of it in October. Last year it was September; they were out of it.
We're talking
I mean,
draft
heck,
at Halloween
week
last year.
one. Yeah. It was before we even were giving out Halloween candy. We were getting ready for the draft.
Yeah.
Things like Thanksgiving, all that stuff. It's just
We're doing the Halloween by draft. I think I was in free agency by November. I was already analyzing other quarterbacks.
yeah. And then we were talking schedule.
I'll tell you what.
Remember that?
Go watch that Josina Anderson interview with Geno Smith. It's really good, man. It's again, words don't mean nothing. You got to see it in camp on the field, but for those of you that actually hate him and are downplaying it, give it a listen, man. It's a really good interview. So,
yeah, I'll say he said more in one interview than Fields ever said last year.
All right, here he is, our cleanup hitter, our wrap-up hitter for the evening.
Guys,
What's up, man?
I'm gonna start with the positive.
The positives.
Yeah, Gino has heart.
He's got heart.
Lots and lots of heart. If you don't believe me, go back at this past season when you play for the Raiders against the run goes on one leg. Now, with that being said,
That was a nice part of this.
yes, with that being said, go back and watch these 4 games of Geno in 2024.
Oh, here we go. You're gonna pick out his 4 worst games in Seattle.
Yes.
Why? Why are you doing this to me? It's our bridge quarterback, man. He's not a franchise quarterback. He's a bridge.
Because I have to, because you're
You hate him.
being way too positive.
How am I being way too positive? The guy he's a bridge quarterback that could help the Jets go from horrible to bad. What's the big deal here? There's nobody else better out there, man. This is the life of a Jet fan right now.
Can I just say the game?
Go ahead. What 4 games? Bub's gonna watch them. We're gonna have Bubs watch these games and give us a report.
Both Niners game. The first round game.
First
and the
Rams
game
game.
against the Chicago Bears where the offense only put up 3 points.
Okay, that happens.
And somehow they still won that game.
Hey, man. No quarterback is perfect. They all have highs and lows. I'm sure Geno gave you very good moments that you wanted to ignore.
Oh,
Yep.
yes. Good moments in that.
I mean, it's so funny. Everybody was clamoring for Jameis Winston. How many great moments has he had? Like he's known for interceptions.
Can I finish?
Sure. Oh, absolutely. Of course.
Yeah, you asked. Yeah. Good moments in that round game. And the second Niner game, we actually won because of him.
There you go. See that?
But
Oh, there's always a but. Uh-oh.
he throws. He becomes chuck and duck under pressure.
So, okay, so he has a little challenge facing pressure, but guess what he has? He has a good offensive line in front of him. He'll have a good running game, and Garrett Wilson makes spectacular catches.
Tyson,
Listen, man,
when
I'm
he
not going to
was-
go down with your negativity. You're not going to break me.
When he was with Seattle, yeah, DK Metcalf and JSN.
Yep.
You guys have Garrett Wilson, and what else?
A.D. Mitchell. But we'll draft somebody. There'll be somebody else.
Yeah.
Mason Taylor, Brees Hall out of backfield. There's options.
this isn't gonna be pretty.
We'll see, man. We'll see. I'm sure you'll call in each week. We'll break it down, but
This
we'll
is
see. You
gonna
never
be
know what could happen.
I'm gonna be rubbernecking, looking at a bad car crash.
And you know what? What you should be doing is enjoying your Seahawks Super Bowl and leaving us lowly Jet fans alone.
I love you guys. So
Have a
much.
good night, man.
How we going?
You guys.
All right, Bub. So did this show go as expected, or did you expect more chaos?
I think it was expected. We got a random man debate. We got angry random man, I should say. Had some angry comments, angry mixed chat. So yeah, it was definitely interesting. Definitely a pretty divided fan base. I was just actually looking at the some of the games Jose was talking about box score. So not watching, but 3 touchdowns, 3 picks in the Rams game, 363 yards. They lost 26-20. But I think Darnold this year stunk it up against the Rams too. He had like 4 interceptions and they lost that game by 2. So, I guess it runs in the if he throws
Dude,
3 touchdowns, 3 picks,
passes in a game.
363 yards.
But wait, 3 touchdown passes in a game. We'd fall off our chair saying that. We never see that.
300 yards in a
passing.
game.
300 yard passing. That's like what? That's almost 3 Justin Field games.
Yeah. Fields his whole season. Let's see. And then the Bears game, low defensive battle. 17-23, 160 yards. On the road in Chicago. Let's see. That was low scoring, but 3 touchdowns. They won 10 games, so if they win 10, if Geno wins 10 games, where can I sign?
Takes us over 3 years to win 10 games around here, so we'll figure it out.
Yep.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. We didn't talk much about the new guard and the kicker, but that'll be next week as we start diagnosing this team and seeing what else Muji does. It's been an encouraging start. The Geno thing is now done. It's over. Now we know he's our quarterback. We can move on from it. So we appreciate you guys tuning in on a Wednesday. Thank you for all the support. Monday, 8 o'clock, we'll be back at it. And anything else, Bubs? You good?
No, I think that's it. It was a good show. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. And now we all can start to get behind Geno, even if you don't like him wherever you stand with Geno. We could put it behind us. He's our quarterback. So, get ready figure out some of these other roster holes, get ready for any other free agent moves that happen, and really start some of the draft stuff now too, which that'll start to kind of take center stage with free agency in the rear view, and just this is kind of prime smokescreen season coming up. So we'll look forward to it.
Talk to you guys Monday night. Thanks for tuning in.